Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So, the big question that everybody is wanting to know, is Mexico going to pay for the wall? Donald Trump was just in Mexico, met with the Presidente over there, and according to the Mexican president, he said that the entire discussion that he had with Donald Trump was open and constructive. This is from Time magazine out of Mexico City. Standing alongside the president of Mexico, a measured Donald Trump on Wednesday defended the right of the United States to build a massive border along its southern flank, but he declined to repeat his frequent promise to force Mexico to pay for it. Trump, the U.S. presidential candidate who is widely despised across Mexico, that's according to this, also sidestepped his repeated criticism of Mexican immigrants following a closed-door meeting at the official residence of the country's president. Trump and the Mexican president, which I can't pronounce his name, who has compared the New York billionaire to Adolf Hitler, addressed reporters after the entire thing was over. We did discuss the wall. We didn't discuss payment of the wall, Trump said. In his announcement of the presidential candidacy last year, Trump stated that Mexico was a source of rapists and criminals coming into the United States, which, if you look at the crime statistics, is accurate. You have a lot of illegal immigrants that come over here and they commit illegal activities. And I really don't understand why it's such a big stress or so controversial to say that, considering that the first act in the United States of America by these illegal immigrants is what? Breaking our law, breaking our immigration law. So, considering that they don't have enough respect for the United States to avoid violating one of our most important laws for people who are not citizens of the United States, what makes you think that they're going to respect our other laws? So really, and that's why I've said when it comes to this issue, it has absolutely nothing to do with the Mexican people. It has absolutely nothing to do with Hispanic heritage. It has nothing to do with any of that. Race is not a factor. The factor is the rule of law. I said that same exact statement when we had Sam Clovis, the Trump advisor, on the show. And I'll say it again, it is the rule of law. That is the most important thing that we have to be focused on. All right, and Mexico should also be concerned about that border remaining open too, because guess what? It ensures that drug activity between the United States and Mexico will continue. So if Mexico doesn't want to get involved and they do not want to contribute to the building of this wall, then why should they benefit as well? Because that's exactly what is going to happen. The Mexico will be benefiting because it will decrease a drug problem that they're also dealing with down at the border. But, they're just ignoring all that. And that's something that's quite fascinating, because what it could lead you to conclude is that Mexico really doesn't care. They do not care. They don't care about the drug problem, and they would rather the United States get all of these negative repercussions of this. However, if we try to insert ourselves, or if we try to get involved and prevent this illegal activity from occurring, then, what does that lead you to believe about Mexico? Because I'll give you, another example, all right? Mexico is coming across as being the neighbor that you want to build a fence on. You want to build a fence between your property and their property. Why? Because they are destroying your property. Well, that's basically what we're seeing right now with these illegal immigrants coming into the country. They are coming in, not all of them, but they are coming into the country, a lot of them, and they are committing acts of crime. First act of crime, coming into the country illegally, all right? I think that's pretty much mutually agreeable. Should be anyway, because it can't be debated. They illegally come into our country, therefore they are automatically criminals. Because they know very well what they're doing when they come into this nation without the proper authorization. Okay, they know very well what they are doing. So to say that, we just have to overlook this, it's completely out of reality. It's completely ridiculous. you have to see it for what it is. These are people that are breaking our laws and more than likely are going to break more than one. But I'll continue reading this here. In his announcement of his presidential candidacy last year, Trump stated that Mexico has been a source for criminal activity. And his presence on Wednesday sparked anger and protests across the capital city in Mexico. A former Mexican president bluntly told the celebrity businessman that despite the current president's hospitality, he was not welcome. We don't like him. We don't want him. We reject his visit. Former President Vincent, I think is how you pronounce it, Fox told CNN, calling the trip a political stunt. The current president was less combative. As he addressed reporters alongside Trump, he acknowledged that the two men had differences. However, that the conversation was open and constructive, and they shook hands as the session ended. The trip, a politically risky move for Trump 10 weeks before America's presidential election day, came just hours before the Republican nominee was to deliver a highly anticipated speech in Arizona about illegal immigration. That has been a defining issue of Trump's presidential campaign, but also one on which he appeared to waver in recent days. Now, is he wavering? Not necessarily. From what we're being told by the Trump campaign, he's not wavering. He still is stating his previous expressed position that they have to leave the country and then they can come back legally. But they have to come back through the right process. If they come back illegally again, then they're deported again. And that's what the Trump campaign has continued to state. Now, whether or not that'll change eventually, who knows? Okay, but as of right now, Trump has been defending his original position. Now, some of the members of his staff, from what I understand, have been trying to get him to change his words regarding that, as it was expressed by Katrina Pearson regarding what their goal is, in the future weeks to come before Election Day. And everyone laughed at her. Oh, that was just completely embarrassing. No, that's what they're doing. They're trying to change the way that they say things so it presents it in a different perspective, just like on the show, right? If I say something that I think is going to be misrepresented, oftentimes now, after what happened to me regarding that stupid video, I say it a different way so people can understand it from various angles. And I guess that's what Trump is trying to do here. He's trying to express his position in various ways to get people to understand it better. So I don't know if that's what it is. Maybe that's just what I would do. But, if he ends up changing his policy on illegal immigration, then you'll know that what happened. He's compromising. But I'd say that we need to just wait and see what his policy is going to be before we act, before we rush to any conclusions. Because one thing that the liberals, especially in the media, enjoy doing to Donald Trump is trying to make him look as bad as possible. All right? They jump to conclusions before anything is confirmed. They jump the gun a lot of times, and you got to just be patient. You got to wait, and you've got to find out how he actually believes, what his policies are. Because if you go onto his website, and I've done this multiple times, where I've read for you various policies that are listed, and they are conservative policies. So I think this guy would be a decent president. I think Trump would be a good president. Who knows? Maybe he'll be a great president. But I do know one thing: he'd be much, much better than Hillary Clinton. And if we do end up getting the border secured, and he doesn't go back on his word, then it'll be worth it. That will be a fantastic issue, because what happened is that a lot of the power that the establishment once had, where they used illegal immigration as this point of trying to attract Hispanic votes, that power will be taken away from them because that issue will be dealt with. So therefore, the establishment's going to have to go on to some other issue in order to call themselves, the in-betweens, the moderates, the people who compromise. So that's something that I really am intrigued by. I hope that Donald Trump does not change. I hope that he continues to fight illegal immigration, because as I've said before, and I'll say it again, when you come into this country illegally, the first act upon entering this nation is an illegal act. It is a criminal act. So therefore, what does that mean? That means that all illegal immigrants, all undocumented immigrants, whatever you want to call them, are criminals because they committed a criminal act. All of them are guilty of that crime. the people who come in the right way, that go through the legal process, those people are fine. All right? There should be absolutely no hostility towards them. There should be no negativity towards them. When they go through the proper process and they take the time and have enough respect for this nation not to break our laws upon entering, those are people that not only should not be criticized or not be recognized as a typical stereotype of what we recognize illegal immigrants as, because oftentimes they've tried to associate people who are Mexican as being, universally illegal, okay? And that's so stupid. But what you have to look at here regarding this entire thing is that when they come into the country legally, they should be applauded because they love this country, they love this nation enough to respect our most important law for people who are not that of citizens in the United States. And that is, they came into the country legally. They went through the right process. They did not want to break our law upon entering. They love this nation, respected this nation enough to do the right thing and to go through the process of becoming an American citizen. They studied. They did everything that they possibly could to get their citizenship. They were able to get it, and now they are seeking the American dream. And they will become fantastic, wonderful members of the American society. Okay? That's what we need more of. That's what we should be encouraging. We should not be rewarding these people who come into this nation without caring what happens. Just coming into this, I'm not going to take that test. It's not worth it. Well, if it's not worth it, then don't come here. Leave. Stay out. Don't come in. So, guys, that's what I'm trying to explain to you here. You have to look at this as being a rule of law issue, not an ethnic issue, not a race issue, not skin color issue, none of that. You have to look at it as being a rule of law issue, because let's change positions here. Let's say that the United States is Mexico and Mexico is the United States. Let's say that we have a massive drug problem along our border, and a whole bunch of our drug dealers are using that poor border to ship drugs over to Mexico. Do you think that that's right, that we'd be doing that to Mexico? Of course not. So what does that make you want to do? Well, when you have that out-of-control problem, it makes you want to build a wall. If you have a neighbor that is, just completely destroying your property, or if they're spying on you or whatever, if let's say that that they keep tossing stuff over, piles of brush onto your property. Well, in order to prevent that, you have enough and you say, all right, you know what? I'm building a fence along my I'm done with it. I'm done dealing with them. I'm building a fence in between our properties. Well, it's hopefully going to stop the problem, or at least decrease it some. Rid you of that, those difficulties that you're having with that neighbor. Well, that's basically what we're having to do with Mexico, because Mexico has an out-of-control drug problem where they're bringing this stuff into our country. They're bringing crime. They're allowing rapists. They're allowing criminals to come into our nation illegally. Not legal people, illegally. Because they have absolutely no problem with that, then guess what? We have to build that fence in between our property and our neighbor's property. We have to build the wall. Why? Because they do not respect us enough. See, I look at it this way. If Mexico is not willing to help us solve this problem, and they will not even build a wall, then, or at least contribute to building that wall, then guess what? Why in the world should we respect Mexico? Why should we have any ounce of respect for Mexico? If Mexico does not wish to help us solve a problem that we are having with their nation, then why in the world should we care about Mexico? Why should we recognize them as being a friend when they don't care enough about us to prevent bad people in their country from coming across the border and then becoming our problem? They're not true friends. They are not true friends. And I'm sorry, guys, that's just the way that it is. I'm telling it like it is. I'm a realist. But they are not an ally when they do not have enough respect for us to help us prevent these horrible people that are their problem from becoming our problem. They're just using us. They're taking advantage of us. And they're taking advantage of that border being poor because it removes those bad people from their country and it places them in ours. So then we have to mess with it, and our money ends up going towards housing those people.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as student loan debt, tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had
All right, guys,
to say
welcome
it.
back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So apparently, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has recovered 30 potentially new Clinton emails. And guess what? It's related to the 2012 Benghazi attacks. You know, that scandal that the liberal left has been telling us doesn't exist, that we were just making a big deal out of nothing. We found nothing, so therefore Hillary's completely innocent. And they were laughing in the face of conservatives. Ha ha ha, we got away with it again. Yeah, well, anyway, apparently Hillary deleted 30 emails pertaining to Benghazi. And the FBI has been able to obtain those. This is from the Washington Post. Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton may have sent or received as many as 30 previously undiscovered emails while serving as Secretary of State. So I'm going to say that again. These are emails that Hillary had and she deleted, that she did not turn over to the FBI. And I remind you that she said that out of those 30,000 emails, all of those were pertaining to things like yoga classes, who her husband was seeing this weekend, all of that stuff. It was all personal matters, okay? Well, now we're finding out, yeah, at least 30 of those, and there's probably more. Those are just 30 that were recovered. 30 of those emails are now potentially related to the 2012 Benghazi attacks. I mean, guys, this woman is such a liar. She's so deceptive. And this is who some Americans want to be the next president? Seriously? Now listen to this. As many as 30 previously undisclosed emails while serving as Secretary of State were pertaining to the 2012 Benghazi attack. Okay? Government lawyers said Tuesday in asking a federal judge for a month to turn over potentially public records to a conservative legal group. It is not yet known how many of those documents may be duplicates of 343 emails already made public by the State Department or contain stray references to the September 11th, 2012 attack in Libya that killed Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens, along with 3 others. Government attorneys stated the emails were recovered by the FBI in its year-long investigation of Clinton's private email setup as secretary from 2009 to 2013. The Bureau has turned over more than 14,900 recovered documents to the State Department for review and potential release. The Justice Department closed the email investigation without criminal charges, and FBI Director James Comey has said that investigators did not believe that emails on the private server were intentionally deleted in an effort to conceal them, but purged through normal processes. So there you go. At this point, there are 30 potentially responsive documents to the Benghazi matter. And this is Justice Department Attorney Robert Prince, and he stated this to the U.S. District Judge Amit, I think is how you pronounce it, Matea, something like that, of Washington. But anyway, Prince asked to have until September 30th to review the emails for possible classified information, which also may require reviews by agencies outside of the State Department. So there you go. Even more information coming out on Hillary Clinton. So this is potentially with regards to Benghazi. Who knows what's in these emails? They're going to be investigating it to see if they're classified. Already, I mean, you know for sure that they have an idea, and more than likely they are probably going to be classified, or this wouldn't even be a news story. So guys, I'm just saying, the liberal left has been trying to get away with scandal after scandal after scandal. It just took one to take Nixon out, and Hillary has had multiple scandals. I mean, the Clintons, you put both of them together, my goodness. I mean, they're just the Clinton crime family, as conservatives refer to them as. But guys, this is something that you really have to look at, that you should be concerned about, because this is who you're trusting, or thinking about trusting at least, some of you, with having information pertaining to the national security of the United States. Because people say, hey, you know, how can we trust Donald Trump with his hands on the nuclear codes? Well, when Hillary can't even operate emails properly, how in the world do you expect to trust her with her hands on the nuclear codes? How can you expect her to keep classified information confidential when she already had the opportunity to keep classified information confidential when she was serving as Secretary of State? I mean, it's just as clear as that. If she cannot do the job of Secretary of State, how is she going to be able to successfully do the job of the presidency? She can't. I mean, guys, some people are trying to stand by her because she's a Democrat. They're saying, well, anybody but Trump. Let me tell you something. Hillary Clinton is an absolute liar. She's proven that time and time again. She is not trustworthy. And you cannot have somebody that is not trustworthy in the White House. Donald Trump is a saint compared to Hillary Clinton. Because at least Trump has not been involved in all of these numerous scandals, all right? Now, he's had some business investments that have not turned out the best, like what we saw in Atlantic City. But for the record, look at the other businesses that ended up going bankrupt in Atlantic City. Quite a lot. That's why Donald Trump ended up losing. It's because the industry there, especially pertaining to travel, just completely plummeted. So therefore, Trump had no choice but to sell it and to go bankrupt because, I mean, it's a poor economy, just like the area that I live, all right? I ran for city council here. Unfortunately, didn't make it. But one thing that I said was that if you continue implementing anti-business policies and you continue making decisions that are going to discourage opportunities for this city, you are going to see more jobs reduced and you're going to see less possibilities of success coming to our town. And then guess what? Now all of a sudden we have hundreds of jobs that are being lost in our city. And, the people voted for that. 306 voted for me. A large portion of the population also voted for these other people that we have now. I hope that they do a good job, but from what I've been reading, some of it is debatable. But that's what happens when you elect leaders that are not interested in prosperity, that are not interested in advancing, and it's the same way on a national level. So when you look at what happened in Atlantic City, when the economy in Atlantic City is poor, you can't blame that on Donald Trump. Okay, when everybody else is facing that financial burden as well. Okay, if I'm if I'm starting a company in my town and then all of a sudden they decide to implement all of these business taxes on me and I can't afford it and I have to end up closing my business, then whose fault is that? Is it mine? No, it's the government's, because they put so much hassle on me that I failed. I had no choice. I didn't have any breathing room. I had to pay all these taxes. I had to pay all these additional unnecessary fees. And as a result, I couldn't afford it. Why? Because of government involvement. Well, take a good look at the economy of Atlantic City in that time. Trump had no option but to declare bankruptcy. Why? Because the economy in Atlantic City was horrible. Hotel investors overall lost a lot of money in Atlantic City, and it wasn't just Donald Trump. So, I mean, guys, the thing that I'm trying to get across to you here is that don't believe this liberal agitprop that Trump is this horrible businessman when this guy is a business genius. I mean, out of all the hundreds of companies that he's contributed forming, only 4 of them went bankrupt. I mean, what is that, like a 90, don't quote me on this, but it's like a 95% success rate? I mean, he could have that, and they'd still say, yeah, the guy's a failure. Why? Because he had a few business investments that did not turn out right. Okay, if I have a high success rate and just 4 of my companies went bankrupt when I've invested in a lot of them, I really don't think that's all that bad. But it sounds bad when you're not an investor. So, I mean, you got to take risks. That's why you are in business. You take the risk of potentially what you're doing is going to fail. But it could also potentially be a success. That's why you experiment. That's why you try it. Now, being laid off and having employees that are fired, yeah, that's awful. That's terrible. But sometimes it happens because of the economy, because of the local circumstances, and unfortunately you have to do it. When the economy is struggling, the economy is doing poorly, and you have all of these additional policies that are being placed upon your business, then sometimes you have no other option but to close. And if business is not coming in and people are not coming to your hotel or people are not coming to your place of business, whatever it may be, it could be a gas station, could be a retail shop. If people are not coming in and shopping, then guess what? You're going to have to lay off employees and eventually, potentially even shut down your company. So, guys, that's just the way that it is. That's a sad reality of life, but you can't blame the business owner for it in every circumstance.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as student loan debt, tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. But anyway, Patricia Smith is the mother of one of the victims, Sean Smith, who died in Benghazi. And she stated on Wednesday that she was not surprised that Hillary Clinton has missing emails pertaining to the Benghazi case. She stated, "I am not surprised at all." This is on Fox Business. She said she's not been telling the truth the whole time. I'm not surprised that she's not telling the truth. Fox News covered this. We have the audio bit that I want to play here for you. This is Patricia Smith on Fox Business Network. Go ahead and play.
A new report shows that 30 emails with references to Benghazi were recently uncovered. With me now, a mother who lost her son Sean in that attack, Patricia Smith. Patricia, welcome back to the program. When you were on with us last time, you told us that Hillary Clinton had not reached out to you, neither had the Obama administration, neither had the State Department. Have you heard from anyone as of today?
No, they haven't bothered getting in touch with me at all. I've heard nothing whatsoever. After all, it's only been 4 years.
4 years, and as you said, Hillary Clinton did attend a service for your son in which she personally told you she would give you an explanation.
Yes, and she still has not.
Are you surprised at all about the fact that she says she submitted all of these emails, and yet 30 at least have been found that reference Benghazi that she did not turn in?
I'm not surprised at all. She's been not telling the truth the whole time. I'm not surprised that she's still not telling the truth.
What do you think we are going to learn as time goes on?
Oh, I have no idea. I can't second guess her. All I know is that she would say things like, "This was not my bailiwick. I don't know anything about this," or "I don't know anything about that." She's the first person I've ever heard of that had a whole department that they're running for all these years and knew nothing about it.
Yeah, as Secretary of State, it is surprising that it would not be, as you say, her bailiwick. Hillary Clinton has recently, as part of campaigning, been on late-night talk shows, Jimmy Kimmel, One of Note, and was joking about the emails and how boring they were, how they were about yoga or her daughter's wedding. I don't know if you saw those clips, but I have to imagine that for you or anyone who's been touched by, as some people would call it, the incompetence, that's maddening.
It's kind of expected now, though. I hear her talking, I see her lips moving, and I know everybody says about that. If her lips are moving, she must be lying or whatever it is. But Hillary has never taken the time off to explain to me why my son is dead. I think anybody in the world would want to know that. Anybody that has any emotions in them whatsoever, they would want to know that. But she won't tell me. Why won't she tell me? If it's that secret, she could tell me that, hey, it's that secret. You can't know this. But you could tell me something she's Secretary of State. She can make up a good lie that I would believe.
Just to help you reach closure and move on.
She hasn't even bothered. Nothing at all. She did tell her daughter, though, but she did not tell me.
Well, there are a lot of people who think that it is possible that in those emails more will be learned, and we will check in with you. In the meantime, Patricia, we continue to keep you in our thoughts and in our prayers. Thank you for being with us.
So that was Patricia Smith. That's the mother of Sean Smith, who died over in Benghazi. Hillary Clinton would not tell her, and has not told her, what exactly took place over there. Hasn't really told anybody. However, Hillary said that she would get to the bottom of things. She would tell Patricia what took place, what happened to her son. She never has. And, you know, she wouldn't even call it a terrorist attack when the incident first took place. However, in an email to her family members, what did she say? She called it a terrorist attack. So here's the thing that I want to say regarding this entire deal, okay? I want to put this in a different perspective. What if Chelsea Clinton was killed in Benghazi and Hillary wasn't a member of the State Department? What if Chelsea was killed in Benghazi? Would Hillary want to know why she was killed? Would Hillary want an explanation as to what took place over there, the events that unfolded? What triggered it? Or would she just say, oh well, that was my, only daughter, but hey, no big deal. No, she would be grieving, she would be upset if she cared at all about her daughter. Well, here you have Patricia Smith. She's grieving at the loss of her son, Sean Smith, and she wants to know why he died. She wants to know what unfolded, what took place. Not a video, not that ridiculous lie. That video that no one even watched. She wanted to know what led up to her son's death, and Hillary does nothing. She says nothing. Now, Hillary being a mother, I mean, you would think that she would have, a little bit of an ounce at least of what that mother feels. But she doesn't acknowledge it. And she lied to that mother, first of all, telling her that it's a video. And second of all, she lied to her, telling her that she'd get back to her as to what took place. She lied to a grieving mother. And the amazing thing is that Hillary is a mother herself. Now, I'm sorry, but you do not do that. Any decent person would not do that. Any decent person would understand how that person feels, how the mother feels, how the father would feel. And they would do everything that they can to make things right. That's what a true public servant would do. But then you have Hillary Clinton, someone who does not care about others, who only cares about one thing. It's not, I don't even think it's money. I think it's power, having that sense of power. Because they had plenty of money through the Clinton Foundation, all of this money coming in from all these speeches, because that's, what I've heard a lot of conservative commentators saying, well, it's all about money to them. No, I think it's more than that. Because if it was all about money, they could continue living a happy, rich life by working under the scandalous organization, the Clinton Foundation, all right? It's much more than that. It's about having power. They thirst for power. And that is something very, very dangerous that I think that every American voter should take into account. But guys, it's that's something you've really got to be careful of, and you've really got to watch out for in this upcoming election, because, it's hard to tell what this woman is going to do. And when she has been receiving all of these funds, because now, what was it that we heard? The pay for play, that's another scandal that's come out, where you have these foreign investors that, I'm going to call them foreign investors, that were giving money to the Clintons just to have an opportunity to speak with them. And they knew about, the deal. Hey, I can call Hillary up, and if I give her, $5 million, then I'll get 20 minutes with her. They knew that they would bargain with that. Because can you imagine if that would happen with the Bernie Sanders campaign? This guy says, hey, I'm willing to donate, $10,000 or $10 million to your campaign, or to your cause, or whatever, to your charity, whatever you may have. I'm willing to donate millions of dollars towards your cause for just 20 minutes with you. Now, there's a good chance, from what a lot of Bernie Sanders would perceive of Bernie. Personally, I think he'd sell out. But there are a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters that would say, hey, you know what? Bernie would not accept that. Why? Because he doesn't take bribes from multimillionaires or from multi-billionaires. He's a friend of the middle and lower class. Well, if that's the case, then what about Hillary Clinton? Is Hillary a friend of the middle and lower class when she's taking bribes or is taking money from these millionaires and is given an opportunity just to have an opportunity to speak with her? Of course not. There's something more than that. And, the government, the reason why they have in the Constitution that if you aren't born in the United States, you can't be president, is to prevent foreign influence. Okay, that's why the founders put that in there. Well, when you have Hillary that's receiving all of this money from all of these various foreign countries, it completely is in opposition to what the Constitution was trying to prevent.
Caiden Cowger.
Keeping America straight.
Somebody had to say it.
If you've ever been looking for a way to invest your money, gold can be a very good investment. Let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is one of the best companies in the business dealing with gold and other precious metals. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and can offer spectacular information on investing in gold. All you have to do is call 1-800-932-4108, and they will give you the knowledge that you need to make an investment. Even if you've just been curious about purchasing gold, this is a great group that can provide you with reliable information. Call 1-800-932-4108 and also ask them about some of their ebooks, such as 10 Shocking Reasons Why You Should Buy Gold and the Definitive Gold Guide. These resources are great for anyone, especially those that are just curious about investing. Call 1-800-932-4108. And some of their products that they offer are quite amazing. I mean, they have the gold bars, they have the gold coins, but they also have this thing called a Valcambi bar. And this is basically just a little bar about the size of a credit card that can fit into your wallet, made up of little grams of gold. So anytime that you just want a gram of gold, you just break one of them off. It's really quite neat. So by all means, contact our friends at Capital Gold Group. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Once again, that is 1-800-932-4108.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1132. 800-826-1132. That's 800-826-1132. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as student loan debt, tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. It is great to have you with us. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at the Caiden Cowger program by shooting an email over to me, that is M-E, at Caiden, C-A-I-D-E-N, Cowger, C-O-W-G-E-R, program, P-R-O-G-R-A-M.com. And if it's good enough, might address it on air. But anyway, guys, another thing that I wanted to bring up, it's because the thing that gets me so much about this entire thing is that people are willing to vote for a complete liar over somebody that has been proven to be a successful businessman. That just goes way beyond me. I don't get that. Because Hillary Clinton has been involved in so many scandals, it's not even funny. And by the way, Julian Assange came out and said that Hillary is a demon that is going to put nooses around everyone's necks. That's Julian Assange with WikiLeaks. It's responsible for a lot of these emails being revealed. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, according to the American Mirror, believes that America's mainstream media are erecting a demon by slanting coverage in favor of Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, which he accuses of whipping up the neo-McCarthyist hysteria about Russia. Assange's comments came during a live interview with the New York Times over Facebook. He said that the notion, promoted by the CIA Deputy Director Michael Morell, that Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump and Green Party candidate Jill Stein are being manipulated by Russian spies is ridiculous. Morell, who has lived in the federal bureaucracy for more than 3 decades, penned an op-ed for the Times in early August that professed his admiration for Clinton and vowed to do everything I can to ensure that she is elected as our 45th president. So this is Morell, the CIA Deputy Director. The CIA Deputy Director doing everything that he can to see that Hillary gets elected. And you mean to tell me that this is not rigged whatsoever? Okay, sure. Morell also suggested that Russian President Vladimir Putin has successfully co-opted Trump's message in complimenting the political neophyte and getting exactly what he wanted in return, with more praise, even in light of his strongman tendencies toward journalists and dissidents. Well, what do you mean strongman tendency towards journalists? I mean, Donald Trump has just belittled the media because the media has belittled him. He's not strongmanning journalists. That's Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump has had numerous press conferences. Hillary Clinton hasn't had a press conference for how many months now? Over 265 days? I mean, guys, that's the thing that gets me. Over 200 days at least, Hillary hasn't had a press conference, and all of a sudden Donald Trump is just a strong man with these horrible tendencies towards the journalists. I don't believe that. And that was just a little segment starting there. Morell also suggested of Russian President Vladimir Putin, that entire thing. It's out of Politico. They were quoting it in the American Mirror article. But anyway, he said, what kind of press environment is going to lead to post-election? Assange questioned, according to Business Insider. The American liberal press, in falling over themselves to defend Hillary Clinton, are erecting a demon that is going to put nooses around everyone's necks as soon as she wins the election, which is almost certainly what she's going to do. Assange is the head of WikiLeaks, which published the infamous emails hacked from the Democratic National Convention that revealed party officials plotted against Clinton's rival, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, during the primary. So there you go. So, this is quite concerning. It really does reveal the corruption that the Clintons are involved in. And guys, I'm going to just tell you, when you have members of the federal government that are working to, quote-unquote, ensure that they're going to do everything they can to see Hillary get elected, that's concerning and should be very, very bothersome to all of us that want to see a fair election. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. For the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you. God bless. and God save this nation.